everyone, I am Liana with Music Academy International Inc. and welcome to the greatest piano channel on the internet, period. So in this video, I'm gonna do question and answer series. Again, thank you so much for your question. I piled up here lots of questions from your emails and from Facebook and from Instagram and from the Patreon site. So we're having very important questions that needs to be answered correctly from my perspective. So I'm having here question number 1, how to find the right song for me? Good question. Number 2, how to set goals? Very good question. How to practice slow? That's a really good question. Slow and more slow. How to break up the score? Very important. Let's do that. What kind of teacher do I need? Do I need one? Okay, we will see. Then we're having here, how long should I practice? How to learn quick a piece? Okay, we all want quick. Yes, that's gonna come. What to practice in a session? That's good, in a practice session. Then we're having coordination exercises for beginners. Absolutely. Why should I play scales? We're gonna get through it. Why arpeggios and why versions? Why should I learn about arpeggio and inversions? What the heck are them? So we're gonna go there. Chord practice, practice exercise. And ultimately, I have one more, classical pieces that I believe you should learn and why. Alright? You like that, right? So give me a like and let's get going with number 1. Hello everyone, and I am back and I am doing the question and answers. I'm happy to be here. So today we're gonna do how to break up the score, right? So these questions, it's a very good question from Marianne from Long Island. Thank you so much for your question, and hopefully I will try to be very explicit in how to break down the score, and not only for you and for everyone who is wondering what exactly do I mean by. So I prepared here 3 examples. First, it's the Sonatina Opus 36 number 1 by Clementi. Alright, and then we're having again the Waltz in A minor by Chopin. Beautiful. And then on top of everything, we're having this one. Right? That all of them you do have the 3 parts tutorial, 4 parts tutorial, or whatever any parts they are in the playlist under the classical tutorials. You have all of these pieces break down measure by measure how to play. But again, for you to understand how to do in other pieces, I'm going again through the stuff here. Alright, so let's suppose that you already practiced the first 4 measures exactly as I told you in previous, in part number 2. Part number 2, you have how to play slow. Right now, we're having more breakdown. So I'm gonna repeat myself just a little bit, but please go there and see that part number 2. I'm gonna put the link into the description. So break down the score for me usually is divide your score 4 measures at a time, in which first of all you practice, as I said before, slow, and then each section individual section, right? With the metronome, you start from 60, incrementally you go to 65, 70, 75, and follow all the tips that I said in that video. So don't skip the steps because it's not gonna work, right? But right now, after you do section 1 4 measures and then section 2 4 measures, then you need to put together section 1 and section 2. So it's an extra step. So do 4 measures, next 4 measures, and then section 1 with section 2, those 8 measures. Then you go another 4 measures, and then again you gotta put together 4 plus 4 plus 4, all 12 measures, and practicing the transition in between the sections. So this is very important, because a lot of times you're gonna know exactly, it's like a puzzle. It's like you creating a map into your brain, and then you have this section, this puzzle here, and then this puzzle here, and then this piece of puzzle, but then it needs to click together. That means you need to continuously practice like a unit to be exactly the entire unit. But right now, to break it down even more, let's say you are in this Sonatina, Music Clementi, and you are in section number 2, and that section number 2, the third measure of section number 2, so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 6th measure, you have this part, right? That it's not coming right. So every time you arrive here, you are like, and then right? So what you need to do there, you know, you can follow, absolutely, you can follow the tip in my tutorial. You need to take that particular bar, and do it over and over, so you break it down even deeper, right? So you go just, I would go one hand at a time and figure it out, the pattern or whatever the technicality is, for you to understand from the brain point of view what is there and how you can achieve that technicality with your fingers. So in this case, there are thirds, and how to do that, absolutely, I am explaining you into the tutorial, right? But so each individual piece is different, and you are different, so everybody has different challenges on different measures, right? I'm just picking up on this particular measure because I know that my students, being the first Sonatina that they're doing it, is like, oh my God, what am I going to do there? So I'm explaining to them that it is a pattern. You know, I'm explaining it's a pattern. I'm creating an exercise for them, and then they're like, oh, no brainer. And then again, and again, and again, just that. Again, so you take that little part with the metronome, even slower than everything else, and you go slow, 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 slow. It's another part that is challenging, is this one in exposition. So it's 2, 4, the 6th measure of the, of the development, is the 6th measure of the development, and is this one. Smokey was ready to pull off this one. Alright, so we're having this part here in measure number 5 of the development. So what I would do here, like in my tutorial, you practice first the left hand. Very slow, and then faster. Measure by measure. This is first measure, and then this is the second one. From the slow to faster, incrementally, one little by little faster, not as I am doing right now, and then here, and then you just practice practice this, you need to create and practice the connection with whatever is next. Alright, so, and then the connection obviously with whatever was before. So it goes this one. And what? Yeah, and do it slow. Not as I played. Slow, slow, slow. All right, I'm gonna go further and explaining you have in measure number 21. Right? So in this situation, in this waltz, you just cannot take, all this all four measures, because the problem is you need to attack the problem where is the measure that is messing you up, right? And don't just play it over and over, four measures at a time, because it's time consuming. You want to be efficient. And when you want to be efficient, you just gotta go to exactly that measure, measure 21. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna practice the long arpeggio. Right? I don't know how many times, but as many times as as is necessary, right? You start with 5 times and then maybe 5 minutes, In this situation, I would stay 3 to 5 minutes, not only 5 times, because that's not coming as easy. And separate hands, so you practice that. From slow. If you see the tutorial, I'm explaining over there. And then here. Hit the notes. That's one, that is, so break it down even one measure at a time. And then, obviously, we having the entire section of from the 33 to the 37 measure, when he's having stop. I'm gonna go again. So is this part. So what I would do there, besides, learning the left hand, but the left hand it's only two measures, that's it, and then repeats, right? But then you need to just break it down and go with the right hand. Slower and slower. Create the legato. And then again. That's another thing. Obviously, do the same fingering. That's totally another subject here, right? So breaking down meaning not only playing 4 measures at the time, you actually break down exactly the measure that is bothering you, and then you practice the connection with the measure before and the measure after. The same situation, I'm going to go a little tiny bit more into this sonata, the facile sonata, that is not facile. It's an intermediate level. It's not an elementary level. And then I pick it up on this one. So obviously, is even on my tutorial, I'm breaking down this part, And first, you know, because it's a little, you know, I'm trying what I will try here in entire this section, that there again 4 bars. I'm trying to figure it out with my theory knowledge, what is there, because there are arpeggios, obviously, and I'm trying to see if it's any pattern for me to see, oh, it's a, so left hand it's a G major inverted, right, left hand, and then it's going into the C. So you have inverted, and then you have the root, and then inversion, and then the root, right? I'm gonna tell you, you know, and then inversion, and then the root, right? So what I'm doing, I'm figuring it out with my brain. You know, if you have a teacher, it's even better because it's showing you the shortcuts, what is over there. But if you don't, you can figure it out or watch my tutorial, you know, what is the logistics behind that. And then just practice the arpeggio like this. Sorry. Many ways how to practice the arpeggio. I'm just giving you, and then is this one. Yeah, I have another camera. I think you can see, you know, I'm practicing, right? And then you put it, obviously slow. So you practice that measure and then you go to the next measure, because in this situation you could go very slow and learn and memorize. That's another subject, completely another subject, in which we will talk in another video, completely separate video, how to memorize. But so what I'm saying, so first of all, practice slow to see the connections in between all the keys and understand, you know, what is there, and don't press the key before you think what the key it is. In music, I usually say, like even when we're talking, right, with each other, first I'm thinking what I want to tell you, right, and then I'm going to tell you. Because if not, I might say I'm just wobbling all over the place. You know, I don't have a script, it's true. But then if I'm not very clear what I want to say, then it's going to be the entire video all over the place. So I'm definitely having a plan in my brain, you know, and touch some of the points so you will not be totally confused and go from one to another thing, you know, and wobbling all over the place. The same thing is here. Don't just play it and your brain is, I need to cook. Like it's happening to me sometimes. I want to practice the piano, but at the same time I'm hungry and I don't have anything to eat, and I know I need to go, and I panic. I'm like, I need to go to the groceries and I don't have anything to eat. Or, you know, so when you practice the piano, create that time for yourself and say nothing else matters at this moment in time for the next 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever minutes you create space. That space is for you, right? So no distraction, nothing, just go for it, right? And so this is what means breaking down for me. On the same time, breaking down, you know, from the technicality point of view, it's again, you're breaking down measure by measure, and then you create exercises specific for that problem. You know, you might have octaves, right? And then you gotta just practice the octaves. You know, or you have scales like here. So you gotta go. Especially on the development when you have with the this one. And right, before you do that, you must agree, gotta put yourself the fingering and so on and so forth. So this is what I mean by break it down. All right. I'm gonna do a little parenthesis here that is important in regarding breaking down. That doesn't mean in the process of breaking down a piece, that doesn't mean you to not play both hands. So after a good practice on one measure or 4 measures, you know, you go and just play and enjoy what you're doing. What did you do on this practice? Or maybe you even want to play from the beginning to the end. So, you know, because usually what's happening, the first page is always going better, the second page is worse, and then once you go to the end, it's worse and worse and worse. You know, sometimes that's another tip, you know. I'm starting with the beginning, and then because I kind of know how goes the song, and then I'm starting to practice from the end to the beginning. So to the beginning to the end, and then from the end to the beginning. So be creative. It's no rule. They are your rules. But make some rules, you know, create some patterns. You're probably laughing. Yes, that's what I'm doing sometimes, because I know by the time you arrive to the end, this part 1 is, you know, section 1 or first page is going very well, and the ending is like, ugh, right? So on the same time when I'm going on the first page, I'm going to the last page as well. But not always, depends of the piece. If it's a sonata, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the development on the same time, exposition and development, because the recapitulation is the same thing as the exposition, but in a different key. So I don't want to do that, right? We want to, so you know, or, you know, you can skip a part and just go to a section that you know is going to be hard. Start with that one when you feel energized. If you're not energized on your session of practice, just don't practice that. Do fingers exercise, or review again and again what you did yesterday or the day before. Don't move on, because then, you know, when you're tired, the brain doesn't want to work and you get more frustrated. Okay, so Marianne, right? I hope I've been very clear what I mean by break it down. Either 4 measures, you know, either measure by measure where you feel it's hard and presents you know, a challenge for you. Let's not say it hard, just a challenge, right? Like you have a challenge, right? And you want to resolve it, right? And when you resolve it, it's like, I got you, I got you, I got you. And you feel proud, and it's a fun journey. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed. Yes, do subscribe if you didn't do it yet. I hope this was enjoyable. Thank you for my Patreon members as well, because you making my family and you giving me a lot of support, because without you I cannot, you know, do as much as I'm doing it. So yes, go and check it out if you could. You know, the Patreon videos are even more there. So see you in the next one. So the next one, I believe it's gonna be what kind of teacher do I need? Wow, that's another good one. And Smokey is here saying hi to you and see you in the next one. Thank you so much.